Hello students, we are back. Last time we discussed about operating system. We'll continue this. So just let's see what was and what is exactly operating system. So as we discussed last time, an operating system is a software that manages all the hardware resources which are connected to your desktop or your laptop. To say it more simply, we can say that the operating system manages the communication between your software and your hardware. We can also say that without an operating system, the software would not function. So we'll discuss about various operating system which are available, which we use or which are used nowadays. So the very first operating system which we will discuss is Linux. You must have heard about this operating system. So let's see what is Linux. See, it is just like Windows or iOS or Mac OS. Linux is also an operating system. See, in fact, it is one of the most popular platform on the planet. The Android is also powered by Linux operating system. Uh, each and everything, almost maximum number of things which we use has Linux in it, like smartphones, car, supercomputer, home appliances, uh, desktops, enterprise services. Linux is almost everywhere. See, Linux has been around since the mid 1990s and has reached a user base that spans the entire globe. Linux is actually everywhere. It is in your phone, it is in your thermostats of your refrigerators, it is in car, it is in television. See, it also runs most of the internet. Yes, all the world's top 500 supercomputers and the world's stock exchange, they all uses Linux. But besides being the platform of choice to run desktops, servers, and the embedded systems across the globe, Linux is one of the most reliable, secure, and worry-free operating system available at present time. See, a Linux operating system has a number of parts, a number of pieces are there which collectively termed as Linux. The very first piece from Linux is bootloader. See, it is the software that manages the boot process of your computer. For most users, this will simply be a splash screen that pops up and eventually goes away to boot into to the operating system. The next one is kernel. See, it is the one piece of the whole, means the entire Linux. It is one part which is called Linux. The kernel is the core of the system. It is the main core of the system. It manages the CPU, memory, and peripheral devices, means all the devices which are connected to the system. The kernel is the lowest level of the OS. The third unit or the piece of Linux is init system. This is the subsystem that bootstraps the user space and is charged with controlling daemons. See, I'll tell later what are daemons. One of the most widely used init system is system, which also happens to be one of the most controversial. It is the init system that manages the boot process. Once the initial booting is handed over from the bootloader. Okay, so now comes what I said was daemons. See, these daemons are the background services like printing or the sound or scheduling of process or the applications that either start up during boot or after you log into your system. The next is graphical server. See, it is the subsystem that displays the graphics on your monitor, on your screen. It is commonly referred to as the X server or just X. The sixth piece or the part is desktop environment. Every operating system has a desktop environment, so it too has. See, it is the piece or the part that user actually interacts with. There are many desktop environments to choose from, either Genome or Cinnamon, or Mate, Phantom, a number of theirs. Each desktop environment include built-in applications like file manager, configuration tool, browsers, or games, or many more things are there. And the last part is applications. Applications is quite a very common term you all must be knowing. The desktop environment do not offers the full list of apps, just like Windows and Mac OS. Linux offers thousands and thousands of softwares that can easily be found, searched, and installed. Most modern Linux distributions include App Store like tools that centralize and simplify application installation. Like in Windows, we have apps, we can download the apps, we can install. In the same way, in Linux also we can download and we can install applications. A number of applications are available. See, we use a very common operating system that is termed as Windows. We all have used. So the question comes up: why Linux? Why Linux should be used? So this is the most simple question and the widely question asked by almost all the people, that why we should use Linux. So we can say that to answer this, there is one more question, and that is the operating system which we use. Does that operating system really work or just fine? Or do you find yourself battling obstacles like viruses or malwares, slow down of the system, crashes of the system, the costly repairs of your computers or the laptops, or the license fees, means if you have purchased the operating system? So if you struggle with the above, Linux can be the perfect platform for you. Linux has evolved into one of the most reliable computer ecosystems on the planet. Combine that reliability with zero cost of entry. Almost you have to pay nothing, and you have the perfect solution for a desktop platform. Yes, zero means absolutely free. You can install Linux on any computer without paying any amount. You do not have to purchase the license key. See, it is an operating system that works trouble free for as long as you use it. There will be no issue of ransomware or malware or viruses. Linux is generally far less vulnerable to such attacks. See, Linux is a open source application. Open source application means it gives you the freedom to run the program for any purpose. It gives the freedom to study how the program works and change it to make it to do what you wish. It gives the freedom to redistribute copies, so you can help your neighbors, your friends, or whosoever to you know. And it also gives the freedom to distribute copies of your modified versions to others. So we can say that Linux is an operating system by the people, for the people. See, Linux has a number of different versions to suit any type of users. For different kind of users, different versions of Linux are there. For new users to hardcore users, every type of user will find their flavor of Linux to fulfill their needs. These versions are called distributions. Nearly every distribution of Linux can be downloaded for free. It can be burned into disks or into pen drives, and it can be installed in as many as machines or computers you want. So the last question which comes up is, which distribution is right for you? So for these you have to answer some questions like how skilled of a computer user you are, how do you prefer a modern or a standard desktop interface, or do you want a server or a desktop? So if your computer skills are fairly basic, you will require to stick with a newbie friendly distribution such as Linux, Mint, Ubuntu, Elementary OS, or Deepin. If your skills set extends to above an average rate, you would go with a distribution like Debian or Fedora. And if you are pretty much mastered the craft of computer system or administration, use a distribution like Gentoo. And above all, if you want a challenging one, you can build your own Linux distribution with the help of Linux from scratch. Okay, the next operating system is Windows. Windows is quite a very general and very simple operating system. It is also widely used, but it comes with a license. It comes with a price. You have to pay an amount to use your operating system, that is Windows, and that too if you have purchased Windows for a particular system that will work for that system only. If you want to install in some other system, you need to purchase the other copy of Windows, so it do not comes free as compare with Linux. We cannot modify Windows, we cannot redistribute it, we cannot alter the applications. Whatever tools are there, whatever applications are there, we have to use that only. We do not have right to modify, we do not have properties of Windows so that we can modify it as we can modify Linux. Even we cannot redistribute it. Once you get a copy, that copy is yours. The other person wants, or you want in some other system, it has to be purchased again. It is a GUI, that is a graphical user interface. The best thing of Windows is it is very simple to use. You can do almost all the tasks with mouse with its click. Every option, every command is ready made on the screen in the form of icons and menus. The only thing is you have to click on the appropriate icon or the menu options to complete your task. Windows operating system was developed by Microsoft. The very first version came in 1985, and from that time the operating system was modified, remodified, and several versions of Windows came, and the latest one which we use at current time is Windows 10, which is based on app system, application system. It has a app store from where you can download the apps which you require to work on your Windows operating system. The next operating system which comes up is BOS. The name is quite interesting, BOS. The full form of BOS is Bharat Operating System Solutions. It is a Linux distribution for Indians, means it is an Indian version of a Linux distribution. It is based on Debian. Debian again is a Linux distribution, and this BOS means Bharat Operating System Solution has almost all the properties of Linux, means whichever properties Linux has, BOS also has the same. The only thing is it is an Indian operating system which is developed by CDAC. It is not a very popular operating system, but can be used in desktop, laptops, or in servers. It depends. With BOS, we can work with Indian languages. It has a GUI, it has an interface through which user can interact with the computer very easily, just like we work on Windows. The same, not the exact same, but can be used easily as we work on Windows. The next is Solaris. Solaris is also a operating system. It is a Unix based operating system. It was developed by Sun Microsystems, but it was taken over by Oracle. So now it is known as Oracle Solaris. In 2010, Oracle took over Sun Microsystem, and as it took over Sun Microsystem, Solaris now belongs to Oracle. See, Oracle has now Solaris, but Solaris is not used as commonly as other operating system which I told before are used. It is a very less used operating system. It has very unique security system, and even it can detect the problem which comes up in the system, and it can heal those problems automatically. It can handle large workload, but still the operating system will work very smoothly. It has a Solaris System Manager, which allows the user to run as many applications as they require for their work at a single time. The next type of operating system which comes is mobile operating system. See, at present time, everybody has smartphone. In every single hand, there will be a smartphone, and all these smartphones run on some or the other operating system. So, a number of operating systems are there which are used in these smartphones. The most common operating system which is used is Android. Apple iOS is there, Windows is there, BlackBerry is there, Symbian is there, which is used in Nokia, and a number of more operating systems are there. See, present time, all these smartphones, they work on touch screen. All the options available, they are present on the screen. The user only has to point on the they have to press on the they have to keep the finger on that particular option, and that work is done. So all these operating system helps the user to work on their smartphones easily, very easily.